What if I told you that there's 7 relatively unknown spots in Fortnite Battle Royale that can spawn up to 3 chests? Not only do these make ideal landing spots, but a majority of these locations also have nearby loot that can boost your chance to win quite a bit. So I did a few searches on YouTube, and much to my surprise, hardly anyone has covered these spots. I have a feeling that with Season 4 coming, these may disappear soon. So allow me to show you all 7 locations, as well as some of the routes you can take after looting these. So the first thing to note is that all 7 of these spots can spawn 0 to 3 chests. As with any location, it's completely random as to how many spawn, but I know for a fact that each of these spots can spawn 3. It's definitely rare for a location to have 3 chest spawns right next to each other, which makes all of these places ideal to land at. Now what you're looking for, besides the glowing chests of course, is a campsite. You'll see telescopes, a used up cozy campfire, and some tents. Of note, the telescopes will give you about 5 steel for destroying them. The tents will give you jack squat, the campfire should give you 2 brick, and the little boxes nearby give 7 to 8 wood apiece. People always miss these tote-like objects, but they're great for wood, and all 7 telescope locations are similar to each other. So first up is what I consider the worst spot out of all 7. It's found just southwest of Dusty Depot on the top of the highest point of the mountain. I say this is the worst location because the loot in the vicinity is pretty terrible. So if you land here and there's not 3 chests spawned, you'll be hurting. The only major area nearby is Dusty Depot, which is wank on the cob as well. Now spoiler alert, a lot of newbie boobies land at these campsites, so you should be able to kill anyone who may land with you, provided you do get a weapon first, that is. Now the next spot is one of my favorites. It's located northeast of Tomato Town and just west of Wailing Woods. This one is smack dab in the center of a great looting route. You'll find the campsite right next to the RV parked on the hill. Now this one is a popular landing spot, so be ready for some engagements right away. Once you've grabbed the loot at the campsite, you've got a few options. There's a massive tree just northeast of the campsite which can spawn several chests. That's my go-to route right away. I also like to stop at the RV parked on the hill, which usually has 2 or 3 weapon and item spawns. You can also find a chest spawn just behind the campsite where the yellow and the white campers are parked. And lastly, there's several houses nearby that also have multiple chest spawns. Like I said, this entire area is an underrated loot fest. The next telescope spot is just north of Moisty and right next to the racetrack, or what people refer to as the Gus area. Now I know it's random luck, but this is the spot I often find 3 chests. If you land here with company, try not to go for the one that spawns on top of the RV first, as oftentimes the loot will spill over to the ground. If you're up on top and this happens, your enemy will reap the reward. Now once you loot the chests up here, your best bet is to head towards the back of the racetrack. The house here only spawns 1 chest, so I wouldn't go there first. The back canopy area has 2 chest spawns underneath it though, as well as several item or weapon spawns on top. Now you'll likely have at least 1 or 2 enemies landing in this area as well, so do your best to clear it right away. The next campsite is a fan favorite, especially before the new map update came about, and that's what people refer to as Grandma's House. Now this spot was already a great landing spot due to the triple spawn potential, although they're not exactly close together. But with the addition of this campsite, it just got even more attractive. To be honest though, I think they toned down the campsite chest spawn rate here. I usually only see 1 chest, but still that means there can potentially be 4 on top this mountain, which is pretty impressive. And if no one else lands here, you've got one heck of a jump on the competition. The next location is found just northeast of Pleasant Park on the right side of this mountain. As normally is the case with these spots, you'll find a lot of lesser skilled players landing here. So if you can beat them to the weapon, you should be in for an easy kill. Now you do have a few options once you've looted your chests. You can go down the mountain on this side to the Umbrella Ditch area or to the motel. Or you could go back towards Pleasant Park. If you do go back that way, you can safely go down the mountain via the path. The other 2 directions will require you to drop down a bit, which is always risky if you can't build. Now this isn't my favorite campsite area, but I do make use of it from time to time. The next to last location is the most unknown. Of the 3 videos I searched that supposedly showed you all these locations, all 3 of the videos missed this spot. Now it's located just south of the prison and west of Moisty Mire. It's found on an isolated hill, so there's not much out this way in terms of named locations. If you want a lot of wood after looting, you can go into the Moisty Mire area, or you can just go north to the prison and pick off any inmates. I usually find 2 or 3 chests at this campsite, so it's a good low-key landing spot. Now I left the best spot for last, which is the hill just northwest of the soccer stadium and just southwest of Pleasant Park. The reason this area is the best is because it can have 5 chests all right next to each other. If you're lucky enough to get the chest spawns on your side, then you're in business. Obviously, the campsite itself can spawn up to 3 of these chests. However, there's a single tree behind the campsite that also can spawn 1 chest. In addition, if you go up one more level on the mountain, there's also a chest spawn here at the very top. So that's potentially 5 chests in a single landing spot. Now there is a drawback to this area, however, and that's getting down the mountain itself. There's no paths that lead down here. You have to actually build down yourself. So if you're like me, you may fumble and bumble and take fall damage more often than not. Still, this landing spot is one of my favorites. And that, as they say, is that. So here's an image with all 7 of the triple chest spawn locations, which are highlighted by a black telescope. I'm 99% sure these are it, but if you know of any other ones like this, let me know in the comments. I know Tilted Towers just recently added a similar area on top of one of the buildings, but it's just a single chest spawn and there's no telescopes or campsite. Now I hope these areas are permanent, but with the release of Season 4 coming up soon, they may go away once the meteor does whatever it's gonna do. So take advantage of these unknown triple chest locations before it's too late.